Ladies, gentlemen, the final rose tonight. These famous words are from a man named Chris Harrison, who has hosted the hit reality television series of The Bachelor since its initial airing in 2002. Since the show began, it has had countless moments of controversy that have shocked its viewers. The Bachelor follows one man's journey to finding love, and each week there's a rose ceremony where women are sent home that the Bachelor doesn't think are compatible with him. And at the end of the show, there's always a final two women that he chooses one of which to propose to. The first moment of controversy I will be talking about is just before the fantasy suites, which is an overnight date that the Bachelor goes on with one of the women that happened between Colton and Cassie in the 23rd season of this show. What happened was Cassie actually broke up with Colton just before they went on their date because she wasn't sure if she was ready for a relationship or not. So here I have a clip of this.
But another popular show is coming to an end this week, The Bachelor.
Oh.
Yeah, if you missed it, the most recent episode, Colton jumped over a fence. It was so dramatic. I don't know if you saw this, but wow.
He just jumped the fence. Open the fence, guys. Open the fence. Colton!
So, though this is portrayed to be somewhat comical on Ellen's show, it was actually a huge moment. It was a huge moment on the show, and what ended up happening was after Colton chased after Cassie, he managed to convince her to stay on the show and go on another date with him, and he ended up picking her as the final girl that he wanted to be with, and they're still in a committed relationship today, though they are not engaged. This next moment of controversy was actually with a man named Brad Womack, and he was on the 11th season of this show, and what ended up happening was he actually picked neither of the two final women he had, so he ended the season without any engagement at all.
Remember when you told me that marriage for you is one time and one time only? I feel the same exact way. And I just said goodbye to Jenny. Okay, hold on real quick. We always promised ourselves we'd be completely honest, right? No matter how much it could hurt. I can't look you in your eye and tell you that I love you. I can't. I have to tell you goodbye.
So as you can see, this was a super dramatic moment on the show, and Brad basically decided he couldn't fully love or commit to either of the women that he had left. So uniquely, he actually came back to season 15 of The Bachelor and decided to go through it all over again to try to find love. And he did end season 15 with an engagement, but it was short-lived, and he's actually still single today. The last moment of controversy I have to talk about has to do with a man named Jason Mesnick, who is on the 13th season of The Bachelor. He actually proposed to a woman named Melissa that was on the show, but then he later decided that he actually wanted his runner-up Molly instead of her.
No, I came here to find my whole life, find somebody like Melissa. And since this all ended, things have been different. Over the last few weeks, I haven't been able to stop thinking about Molly.
So you're telling me that you're still in love with Molly?
Yeah,
Are you gonna end this tonight?
I have to.
Let's bring her out.
I came here to find somebody to spend the rest of my life with. We're not right for each other.
A ring on Melissa's finger, but you don't want to fight to see if that can work. Because you're having doubts over someone else who you already said goodbye to.
You're such a bastard.
I wish more than anything that last day you would have just let me go. Instead of doing this to me. I'm so mad at you.
I'd do anything if I could give that for you.
Don't call me. Don't text me. Leave me alone, please.
You know Molly's here tonight. Let's bring out Molly.
Hi.
Melissa was out here earlier. And I ended things with her because I haven't been able to stop thinking about you.
This is something I dreamt of, but never expected to hear.
So where do we go from here?
You know, I came here for one reason. I came here to find somebody to spend the rest of my life with, without a doubt. You are that right person.
So as you can see, this moment from The Bachelor is confusingly portrayed really to be a happy time, which is kind of interesting, and you can especially see that in the host Chris Harrison's reaction to Jason's news. But I guess Jason's choice was correct, because him and Molly are still together, and they've been married for over 10 years, and they actually have a daughter together. So to wrap everything up, as one can see, there are many, many shocking moments on this show, and though a lot of people argue that this show is in many ways morally wrong because of all its heartbreak and the amount that it plays with human emotion, but it is truly successful at one thing, and that is generating viewers and shocking its audiences. It has actually had over 6 million viewers at the latest season, which is a 20% increase from last season, which just shows their continuing growth as a franchise. And this show even makes enough revenue to pay The Bachelor $100,000 for each season that he's on. So, thank you. These are my citations.